Hey YouTube, how is it going today? Well, there were a lot of moving parts today in the crypto space, and stocks like Coinbase have been trading down sharply lately. Now, I think today's action could have signaled a tradable bottom, so in this video, I want to get into their chart and show you what I'm seeing. And then after that, if you like swing trading, I have some more nice tradable charts to show you. Now, if you're new to my channel, I've been trading and investing for over 20 years, and in every video, I'll show you some of the potential trades and investments that I see setting up. So if that's something that interests you, please consider subscribing to the channel so you don't miss any future trading or investing ideas. And I also have a Patreon group, so if you would like to be a part of our community and see what we are buying and selling in real time, that link is in the description. All right, so let's jump into this Coinbase chart, but first off, a couple things. Number one, if you could like the smash button for me and help me out with the YouTube algorithm, I would greatly appreciate that. And number two, of course, is I am not a financial advisor. Please do all of your own research for investing in anything you see in my videos. All of this is just my opinion and for entertainment purposes only. But with that being said, let's get into this Coinbase chart. And as we can see, Coinbase has been falling off a cliff lately. There's been tons of people online suggesting what a fantastic value it is. I think a lot of that still needs to be determined, but what I do know right now is this thing is way extended to the downside. We've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 straight down days, with today resulting in a big gap down. And in my opinion, I think this is going to be a tradable bottom. Usually when you have a climax type of move, at the very end, you usually get a gap down and then a reversal, and that's exactly what we're seeing today. And Coinbase is already extremely stretched away from this 8-period exponential moving average, this white line on the chart, and this thing kind of acts as gravity. Once the stock gets too far away from it, you tend to get a snapback back into it. So I think Coinbase, in my opinion, is setting up for a beautiful swing trade. Now, a lot of people want to invest in this thing for the long term, and this thing was almost down to $200 a share. So if you wanted to get in for the long term, man, today was your day if you wanted to get in cheap, because this thing, when it IPO'd, was well over $400 a share at one point. Now, I don't know if you want to invest for the long term in this or not. I still haven't made up my mind, but I do know that this is an absolutely beautiful looking swing trade opportunity. Now, this might not be the bottom. We might get a little bit more of a climax bottom, but I think this is pretty darn close, and it is pretty stretched out. If the market does roll over harder, which we are in danger of, I mean, it could take out a low that it made today, but I think it is getting super close to a tradable bottom. I haven't bought any yet. I've been trying to figure out all day long exactly how I want to play this, whether I want to buy stock or whether I want to buy option, but I definitely think I want to be a part of this move. If we go back to the move that I had in early May, you can see it was trending down, and then it sort of fell off a cliff just like it did today, or these last couple of days anyway, and then you had that sharp move up, and I think we are making an identical pattern. I think we could easily bounce to about $255 or so. So with a move like that, I would probably want to lean more towards options, but the options were a little spendy last time I looked at them, so I haven't decided for sure. But let's go to the intraday chart. Let's go to the 15-minute chart and take a closer look at this trend down. We can definitely look at the one that happened earlier that I was talking about, when it fell off a cliff in early May, and then you had that subsequent bounce. Now, if you have been watching my channel, you know I love trading this pattern right here. You have the low, and then you have a break to a new low, then an immediate reversal, and then when the stock pulls back below that 8-period exponential moving average, that white line, I wait for it to move back above that moving average, and that is usually my signal to get in, and that was a very nice tradable bottom on Coinbase in early May. Now, if we look at today's price action, we haven't had that move that takes out the previous low, at least not on the 15-minute chart, but I do think that these Bitcoin related stocks are way overextended, and the fact that Bitcoin and Ethereum and a lot of the other coins look like they made a short-term bottom today, I would expect Coinbase to follow that up as well. Now, like I said, the wild card is the overall market. The overall market is on shaky ground right now, so if the overall market rolls over, Coinbase could roll down with it. But if I had to guess, and I'm willing to guess and willing to probably bet some of my own money on it today, I would say that we are probably either right at or super close to a tradable bottom on Coinbase, because this thing is extended. The coins looks like they've made a little bit of a climax bottom. So I think Coinbase for sure is definitely due for a bounce. All right, well, before I get into some of those other tradable charts, I do want to touch base on a couple of the cryptos, because I do think today was a pretty significant day. There was a lot of technical damage done, and I just want to go over that real quick before I jump on. Right here, I have the daily chart of Bitcoin, and you can see that Bitcoin was in a pretty distinctive rounded top formation, and then when these things roll over, the rollover usually ends up being pretty sharp and pretty fast, and that's exactly what we got with Bitcoin. According to this Webull chart, it bottomed out right around 29,000, maybe just a little bit higher than that, and right now it's trading at 38,000. So that would have been a fantastic move to catch. You know, you would have had to been pretty nimble to catch that because it happened so fast. But the point I'm trying to make here is when this pattern ends up playing out, usually once you make that first bottom, it will trend up just a little bit further before it starts rolling over again. So a lot of times these chart patterns kind of play out into like a double bottom formation, and I think the odds are that's probably going to happen with Bitcoin if I had to guess. And so if you missed the bottom in Bitcoin right around 30, you're probably going to get another shot at it. And the reason why this kind of happens is because everybody that bought in mid-February up till, yesterday or so, they're trapped right now. If you bought between 40 and 64,000, you're sitting at a pretty significant loss right now. And there's probably people in this market that got a little too overextended, and they're probably hoping and praying that it gets anywhere near their break-even point so they can get out. They're probably really scared that this thing's going to roll over and make an even greater loss. So if they get anywhere near to break-even, they're probably going to sell. That's what usually causes that second rollover. You gotta kind of shake out those weak holders. The people that are short-term or just weak hands. You got to give them a time to play out, and then maybe we'll have another chance at maybe reaching another high on Bitcoin. And that's just how stocks usually play out, but they're all it's just all psychology of the market participants. So, if I had to guess, that's what I would think Bitcoin was going to do. So if you wanted to catch that bottom around 30, I think you're probably going to get another shot at it. But let's take a look at Ethereum real quick. Now, if we look at Ethereum, we're seeing a little bit of a different story. This looks more like a climax top. This thing just went straight up and then rolled over hard. So I would definitely think that Ethereum is probably going to have another rollover as well. It might not go all the way down towards 1,800 because that was a pretty big dip. But if I had to guess, I would say it's probably going to get pretty close. So if any of you guys out there missed this bottom in these coins, I think you're probably going to get another shot at it before too long. So keep your eyes peeled. All right, let's get into some of those tradable charts now. First off, I do want to show you the QQQ because it's having a pretty significant reversal. The NASDAQ and pretty much all the other averages gapped down big, but has been getting bought up ever since and is almost positive for the day. So as long as it stays near these levels or finishes up for the day, I do think we have a tradable bottom in the market. We got that double bottom, what it looks like. Now, you never know with this market. It's so Jekyll and Hyde. 1 minute it looks like it's giving us a buy signal. The next day it just friggin' gaps down. So you got to be on your toes when you're playing this market. But just looking at this pattern is making me think that we might have a tradable bottom. Now let's look at the spider. The S&P 500 is finding support at that 50-period simple moving average, so we could be finding a bottom on the S&P 500. And then if we look at the Dow, I believe it's the same thing. If we look at the diamonds, yeah, it's finding support at the 50-period simple moving average. So I wouldn't say we're out of the woods just yet. This could be just a bounce off of those major moving averages, but the market is definitely getting bought up ever since it opened. So that is a very good sign. Well, all right, the first stock I want to show you is AIKI. Now we can see AIKI made a nice double bottom just below that 200 period simple moving average, that yellow line on the chart. And if it wasn't running straight into the 50 period simple moving average, I would pretty much be willing to bet it'd be much higher today. But it could blast through that before the day is over, or it could gap through it tomorrow and be off to the races, because this is a very nice looking bottoming formation in AIKI. This is one you definitely should have on your watch list for a potential breakout. Next one I want to show you is Travel Zoo. This one has been an ARK Invest favorite. Now let me back it out just a little bit. We can see that this one has been going sideways ever since early March, and it looks like it is poised to break out of this triangle consolidation formation. You know, it had a gap down today. It looked like it was going to bust out yesterday, but of course it gapped down with the rest of the market today, and it is trading back up. So I do think this might have a couple more days or so to grind around in this consolidation, but it wouldn't surprise me one bit if Travel Zoo ends up blasting through this resistance area and headed towards $20 a share or more, especially since ARK Invest has been buying this, or at least they were quite heavily not too long ago. I haven't checked their buys in the last few days, but I definitely saw them buying some Travel Zoo recently. Next one I want to show you is VTNR. VTNR is in the oil and gas refining industry, and you can see it had this nice breakout, and I don't like to chase the breakouts, but I like to buy the pullbacks when they pull back to support. It's right at support, and it's actually making a low just above the 8-period exponential moving average, so that is exactly when I like to buy this stock. So if you want some more exposure to energy, this stock is looking pretty nice right now. It's been going sideways for several months, and now it's finally blasted through that resistance area, and it's pulling back on very light volume after breaking out on heavier volume. So this is the type of formation that I like to buy on breakouts. And the last one I want to show you is XELB. XELB is definitely making a very nice breakout pattern. So you had this fake out back in April where it had a huge move up on big volume, and then the volume or the buying kind of got sucked out of it, and now it's been trying to grind out that bottom. I usually like to see at least one fake out to the upside because I think when stocks have one fake out to the upside and then a reversal, when they eventually do break out, that usually gives them a higher probability of a sustained breakout. So XELB is definitely one that is on my list there in the apparel and manufacturing sector, and of course that sector has been red hot. A lot of those stocks have been going straight up, so XELB definitely looks like it is poised to break out and go higher. Alright guys, well that's all I have for this video, so I'm going to end it right there. But if you have any questions about any of these stocks, or if you have any other stocks you want me to take a look at, please leave them down there in the comment section. I will get to them as soon as I can. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button for the YouTube algorithm and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching my video all the way to the end, guys, and until next time, take care.